May 16th, 2019, YouTuber Omi and a Hellcat uploaded his first video titled Payday at Reloaded Construction. The vlog ends with a very deep message.
Always remember, live life the way you will want to live it. You only get one chance at this, one shot at life. One chance, one shot, that's it. Any mistake that you make, it's done. You're done.
Little did Omi know, starting this YouTube channel could have been the one mistake that would ultimately land him in federal prison. That very first video that Omi posted got 60,000 views in the first 3 days.
Yeah, that's 60,000 views, bro. That's not, that's paid for. That's not authentic or organic.
Video shows Omar stepping out of his mansion, walking down his long driveway with more than 15 all-white cars parked in it, and telling the viewers about his entrepreneurial
15 all-white cars. Yeah, you're doing it all for the vanity, bro. You're doing it all to show off. You can't just be content with your money. You gotta show it off to everybody, don't you?
endeavors. From there, he drives to his first nightclub that he owns, where they are doing renovations. Then he goes to his second nightclub, where they just made the final touches before opening. Omi continued to post vlogs that started with motivational messages about life.
You have one thing, advantage over a lot of people. You're free, you're young, and you're healthy. No excuses. Stop trying to keep up with everybody. Stop going out buying Balenciaga.
Typically, the middle of his videos would be him
Stop going up buying Balenciaga, which I agree with, but yet you're showing off a fleet of 15 all-white cars. Come on now.
tending to his businesses, buying expensive clothes, jewelry, new cars, vintage cars,
He's
tour
doing it
buses,
himself.
and even houses. For a wildly successful man, he was relatable, down to earth, and kind, far from the narcissistic rich assholes we typically see on the internet. Within 2 months, he reached 100,000 subscribers. By the end of summer 2019, he had 300,000 subscribers. But every time he was asked
it's
about
not
how he
organic
obtained his
growth.
wealth, his answers were extremely
How you get rich, yeah, get rich quick. We're going to talk about that here today.
vague.
What do I do for a living? Started off as an app developer. Started as an
Lies.
app developer.
By the way, drink water. But as Omi spent more time showcasing his lifestyle on the internet and being more open about how he made his money, he caught the attention of the FBI. And on
Uh-oh.
November 20th, 2019, just 6 months after his first video, they raided his home. This case file shows 88 lines of personal property that the federal government seized from Omi. Over the next couple of months, the FBI confiscated $5,875,000, 58 vehicles, including a 2020 Lamborghini Huracan, a
58
2019
vehicles,
Lamborghini
bro. This
Aventador,
is
and a
crazy.
2019 Audi A7. They also took 21 properties,
See
including
about
buildings
4
in
or 5
downtown
Lamborghinis
Philadelphia
there.
and mansions in the suburbs. You would think that in a
21
situation as serious
properties.
as this, Omi would keep quiet. But as soon as this happened, he went live on YouTube to tell his fans about the raid. At first, he thought the feds were after him for tax evasion, which was partially true, and Omi claimed that he was innocent. But it wasn't just taxes that the feds were worried about.
Bro, when I tell you they took everything, they took every SD card, every camera, every television in my house. Houses, IPTV is a gray area. You know, the Copyright Act hasn't been updated since the 1960s. And you know, I hit a fucking gray area and exploited it, and they just didn't like it.
Omi thought he had found a loophole in the US copyright law and was exploiting it. Now, if at this point you're feeling extremely confused as to how this guy even got into this situation in the first place, this is exactly how his hundreds of thousands of fans felt. Ironically, once the feds raided him, that's when Omi started opening up about exactly how he made his fortune. But first,
Okay, so before they do this ad, right? So I don't know about the copyright law. Okay, but he says it hasn't been updated since the 1960s. That doesn't surprise me, right? It doesn't surprise me. But my thing is this: these influencers, these fake gurus, they are scammers. They are con men. Okay, and the reason why they often don't end up going to jail, although some of them do nowadays, but historically they haven't gone to jail, is because it's correct that the laws are not really updated. They're not updated, they're outdated. The FTC is not on top of things. I mean, they recently clamped down on Kevin David, but that is changing. That is changing now with one man, with the case of one man, and because of how high profile that case was. And that one man is Sam Bankman-Fried. He has pretty much opened the floodgates for them to start going after individuals who are running scam operations, particularly in crypto. Because now we can see that there's a lot of money in it, and they're going to be wanting some of that money. So we can see, I'm not sure how much money the Sam Bankman-Fried case, how much money they seized, but it has to be in the billions, right? See, I'm going to talk about more about these influencers, but let's skip this ad and let's get into the video.
Television, or IPTV, piracy scheme in which they fraudulently obtained cable television accounts and then resold. Omar Carrasquillo operated a large-scale Internet Protocol Television, or IPTV, piracy scheme in which they fraudulently obtained cable television accounts and then resold copyrighted content to thousands of their own subscribers who could then stream or play back content. This piracy scheme all started on Kodi. Kodi is essentially just a media player that's available on any device. People use Kodi to watch videos, podcasts, movies, play games, listen to music, etc. However, Kodi doesn't make its own content. It's an open source streaming platform that anyone can make apps on. Because of this, it's mostly known for people who watch pirated or stolen content. Most people used Kodi on Amazon Fire Sticks. They would go on the Kodi app, install all their favorite networks, and stream content for free. But it's not that easy. A lot of these add-ons can be riddled with malware or just end up being bogus apps that don't work or stream low-quality content, which leads to people Googling things like best Kodi add-ons for free and searching through blogs to find out what apps are the most trusted, like The Crew or Daddy Live. Not only does researching and installing these apps take a little bit of technical skill, it also is just a lot of work. Around 2016, Omi was exposed to this and saw a huge opportunity. Omi would buy Amazon Fire Sticks for $40, jailbreak them, or install all the best and most trusted apps onto Kodi, then resell them for about $120 to $150 to his customers, essentially giving customers cable TV for a one-time fee. The reason we know this
no, that's not how it works. Okay. I know about this stuff because I was into it back in 2016, around about that time. Okay, you're gonna buy the Fire Stick, okay? And also another thing, that idiot Hassan Abi made a response to this, and he said this guy is a hero because he's ripping off the cable companies and offering it at a cheaper price. We're gonna get into that later, but what he's actually doing is scamming people because that $150 dollars that they're paying, not only you can get it for $40, but it's preloaded with apps, right? But those apps are gonna stop working eventually. It's not like you can just go on there and those apps, so they're gonna be back to square one. They're gonna have to do it themselves. They're gonna have to find which apps are working, download them. Sometimes you have to download other softwares. Sometimes you download it, it doesn't work for whatever reason. There's different versions, and sometimes it won't work with the version. Then you have to roll back on the updates, manual updates. It basically sold people a fake idea that they could get cable TV for free, or not for free, but of a one-time fee. No, that doesn't work. Doesn't work. The apps are going to stop working because the thing is that they're always constantly, what they're doing is illegal, so they're always constantly on the run trying to evade being shut down.
is because he had no problem telling people his scheme.
And back when Kodi was popping, you know what I'm saying, I was one of the first ones doing Kodi sticks. And that's how I started making a lot of money. Buying these boxes from Amazon already preloaded and just reselling them for more money. I'll buy them for $50, sell them for $120, $150. Now I was selling thousands of Fire Sticks.
You see that? $50 and selling for $120, $150.
I'm talking about a lot of Fire Sticks.
In 2016, Omi said that he made $1 million flipping Fire Sticks. That gave him enough money to fund his next piracy venture, which would make him
Yeah, and you should have stopped there, bro. You should have stopped there with that 1 million.
tens of millions of dollars. By this point, Omar was kind of a regular in the online piracy community, which is surprisingly large.
I was a negative person in Kodi because I was like a
Need to slow it down a little bit so I can follow it better.
wrestler. There was good guys and there were bad guys. I was a bad guy because that's how I got people's attention.
He was known by the username Target in 1080p. His YouTube channel was originally named Target in 1080p and featured videos of him discussing things in the IPTV space. One particular man named Dexter took a liking to him. Dexter was a developer and Omi was the financial backbone. Together,
You see, when he said back before he was an app developer, Dexter was a developer. He was just a financial back, and he lied about that.
they made an app for Kodi called Gears TV, which was inspired by his favorite video game, Gears of War. Gears TV was Omi's all-in-one digital content
Look at that. Everything he does is copyright piracy. Look, he's stealing the identity, bro. Even the same logo and fonts and everything.
package with some of your favorite shows like Game of Thrones, Better Call Saul, Twin Peaks, all of the major networks like ABC, ESPN, and Fox, channels that are only shown in the UK and Canada, and even more premium packages like NFL Sunday Ticket. Gears TV provided all of that content in 1080p resolution for as low as $15 per month. If someone were to pay for regular cable, it could cost them anywhere from $60 to $200 per month. But how is he able to do this?
Yeah, I mean, look, like I said, I'm pro-piracy. I'm pro-piracy. I don't really care about people doing piracy, but My thing is this: if you're gonna do piracy, just ask for donations, bro. Like, don't try and sell it to people because you don't own the product. So why are you trying to sell it? You're trying to sell something you don't own. Now, if you want to stream it for free and get donations, that's fine by me.
Essentially, what Omi did was purchase cable subscriptions from Comcast, Spectrum, Verizon, DirecTV, and Frontier Communications.
And
These
that's why I'm pro piracy, because he's paying for it. He's paying for the service and he's streaming it to people. That's why I don't see anything wrong with
cable
that.
subscriptions come with a box that contains encrypted media.
I mean, I've always been into piracy, you know, back from when I was even a kid.
Omi purchased decoders from China to remove the encryption, then capture cards to download the content and send it to a server where it would be redistributed over the internet to his subscribers. Gears TV was cheap and provided way more value and content than any cable company could ever compete with, and word spreads fast in the
Yeah, well, cable TV is a ripoff. You know, cable TV is a ripoff, I mean. But then again, I'm not sure how reliable it is. I know the interface won't be as good as cable TV.
IPTV community. Omi went from making $5,000 per week to $400,000 per week in just a few months.
Look at that. See, this is what they call get rich quick, guys. 5K a week to 400K a week in just a few months. That's how they get rich quick. By defrauding, by scamming, right? This is how they get rich quick. You don't just get rich quick like that by doing things the legal way. This is get rich quick. This is exactly what I'm telling you when I say get rich quick is a lie. It doesn't work. He got rich quick, but now he's sitting in a jail cell because what he did was not legal in the first place. This is what I'm saying about get rich quick. And all of these guys do it. All of these influencers are con men. Patrick Bet David is a con man. Why do you think he's doing a podcast? All these guys with podcasts are con men. Graham Stephan. Graham Stephan, you know how Graham Stephan made his money more recently? He was promoting FTX with Sam Bankman-Fried. He was a close associate of Sam Bankman-Fried. And I'm still angry at the US for not putting that guy in jail. Because for me personally, I would put the guy in jail. But the problem with the States is everything is done by the law. And some people say that's a good thing. But it's a good thing if the laws were updated, but they're not updated. So people like people like Graham Stephan can be a close associate of Sam Bankman-Fried and get no repercussions from it. And this is the problem. But they're all crooks. All of these influencers, all these podcasters, all of these fake gurus, they're all crooks, man. That's what they are. That's how they get rich quick. There's nothing special about these guys. They're not Steve Jobs. There's nothing special about these guys at all. They're just getting rich quick because they're con men.
Months. The indictment claims that in total, the defendants received more than $30 million in subscriber fees. Omi said he was still living in the hood of Philly at this point, and nobody knew the kind of money he was raking in. His first purchase was a 2016 Camaro SS 50th Edition, his dream car.
That's
Keep in
regular,
mind, Gears
bro.
TV was no small operation. They had large servers, customer service representatives, and the government did have their eye on these
You
schemes.
just couldn't turn down the easy money. It's like being a drug dealer. You know what you're doing is wrong, but you just can't turn down the easy money.
As it got more popular, the monthly price increased, which pissed off customers as their $15 per month turned into $20, then $30, then $40, getting closer and closer to regular cable prices. Omi sold
Yeah, and he's increasing the prices of a service that, he doesn't even own in the first place. Yeah, you're paying server costs and everything, but he's not doing it for the people. Like that idiot Hassan Abi said, he's doing it for the people. The people who do it for the people, because like I said, I know about piracy. They actually do it for free and they just rake in donations. And the donations, they probably turn a little bit of a profit or they're breaking even. I don't think they do it for a loss, but he's not doing it for the people. Increasing the price from $15 to $40. Look at him. Some fat dude in a white car thinking that he's a cool dude. Yeah, you're so cool sitting in a prison cell right now.
his app to a private investment company in 2018 for a whopping $40 million.
Who's buying that shit for $40 million? Private investment company must be from China.
This was perhaps
Like,
his most genius move,
who's
because
buying
not
that
too
dumb
long
shit?
after, Gears TV shut down. But it did not stop there. Omi used his large payout and expertise to build a new and improved app called Reloaded TV. This was everything Gears was and more, with a way better interface.
Look at the interface. That's still not. It looks like, you know, cable TV from the 90s, bro. Like,
and higher quality content. Reloaded very quickly became one of the biggest apps in the IPTV space because of its great user interface and reliability.
yeah, IPTV, bro, them guys are getting put in jail. I always read about them. They get put in jail all the time.
It's unclear what exactly happened to Reloaded TV. It seems like it wasn't around for very long, because in 2019, Omar abandoned the Target in 1080p name and changed it to Omi and a Hellcat, and he stopped talking about the IPTV space as a whole. He claims he knew the industry was dying and the feds were cracking down on other apps similar to Reloaded. Now, is it possible that Omi's YouTube channel...
It was dying and they cracked down, and that's what happens, right? It was dying and that's why he changed up. But let's talk about other YouTubers, because this really ain't about him. I'm just using him as an example. This is about all of them in general. Andrew Tate is a crook as well. Andrew Tate, I mean, some people say he's innocent. I'm like, what? Forget about all the trafficking and all that. He's a criminal just based off of tax evasion, just based off of scamming people. You know, he was doing Forex scams and all that shit back then. You know, but this is the thing with these guys. They're all crooks, man. And people are looking up to these guys. It's like you can't see how these people behave. They behave like drug dealers, buying a bunch of cars, and these guys are criminals, man. And they start up podcasts. Patrick Bet David starting up a podcast, bro. Why starting a podcast? Because he can't do your scam anymore. He knows he can't do it anymore because he'll be caught this time. Back when he was doing it back in the day, you could get away with it, but nowadays it's too risky. So I'm gonna do a podcast. I'm Patrick Bet David. I'm gonna say I support Trump. You know, the dude wasn't even born in America. I mean, you know, these guys are just a bunch of absolute and people following these dudes. Like, it's crazy. Like, people don't want to watch my channel, but you want to watch a bunch of con men. Graham Stephan, you know, like, are you kidding me? After Sam Bankman-Fried got caught, and you're still watching this dude? I don't. This just show you how dumb people are. Whatever is popular, they like it. You know, whatever's popular, they like it. Logan Paul is a scammer as well. Even I heard KSI is. I mean, Ice Poseidon, all of these guys, crypto scams, you know, every single one of them, they're all crooks. And people are still following these guys. Oh, because it's popular. People ain't got no brain, and that's why they deserve to be broke.
Alerted the FBI. Not necessarily, but it didn't help his case. Anyone who is in the business of distributing media knows there are others trying to steal it, but Omi's YouTube channel promoting his own brand and attaching a face to the scheme just made it that much easier to identify the perpetrator. Bragging and flaunting his wealth could have pissed off authorities, and yeah, they're...
Look at that, no class, putting jewels all over the watch. They call it, what, icing it out? I think that's what they call it. Bro, just wear it standard. Like, what's this shit they do in the Afro-American community? Like, it's terrible, bro. That's how you know somebody come from the hood. They just ice out the watch. When I get my luxury watches, bro, I'm not doing none of that crap. I'm keeping it standard, keeping it vanilla.
human. Maybe they did want to put him in his place a little bit. Maybe they were harsher on him than others to make an example out of him. In one vlog, Omi found out that federal agents boarded his flight to the Dominican Republic to make sure he wasn't trying to flee the country. But you have to remember that all of the information I just gave you, his audience didn't know about. They had no idea why the FBI was after him. They just knew Omi had to...
Why following this clown?
...restart his life.
Please continue to support this channel.
He doesn't even have charisma or personality from what I can see.
I'm gonna stay strong. I'm gonna try to beat this shit. They broke me. They broke one of the strongest people I know, which is me. They broke me, but no one got me to this position. Only but me. Start taking responsibility for your actions. Start taking...
Why would I take advice from you, bro? You're a fool. You could have run away with the money. You know, you could have run away with the money and done shit legally, but you couldn't turn down the easy money, and now you're sitting in a jail cell. There's a time and a place for everything. That's one of my favorite, sayings. You could have stopped doing it. After you got that 40 million, you could have stopped doing it. You could have stopped doing it before that. But no, you had to keep going. You had to keep going.
YouTube channel after the raid became dedicated to him trying to regain his wealth, start new businesses, buy more cars, all while the feds were watching him. He started a printing company / merch brand under the name Reloaded, where he made and sold all different types of clothing out of a room in his
Using the same name as his scam operation.
house. Keep in mind
What a
he had his
moron.
construction business and various other side hustles that kept him paid. Plus, it's not like the feds emptied his bank accounts entirely. Omi kept saying he was broke, but his version of broke is going from tens of millions to maybe just a few millions. But it wouldn't be long before the FBI came back.
The whole FBI situation, it seems like they're trying to tack on money laundering charges, tax evasion charges.
From 2016 to 2018, when Omi made tens of millions of dollars, he admits that he did not pay his taxes. However, he had a reason. He claims that the accountant he hired told him that she was CPA certified when she wasn't, and that she never paid his taxes the right way, but he was more than willing to pay the million.
Bro, that's not an excuse, bro. Like, you got that much money and you're making that stupid excuse. Like, that's not gonna fly. Like, that's not even worth saying. That's like going to school and telling the teacher the dog ate my homework. Like, that is just, it's ridiculous.
He owed. However, once he finally got together the money to pay his taxes, it was stolen from him. He posted a video titled, "I got robbed for $1 million," in which he claims that he took $920,000 out of the
Yeah,
bank
but you robbed way more than that, didn't you?
in cash to give to his accountant. He left for Dallas for 2 days, and while he was gone, someone cut the power off from his house and stole the cash, some electronics, and his girlfriend's purses. The funny part is, a lot of his own fans were suspicious. It seemed like Omi was trying to stash $1 million and throw off the feds by setting up a robbery. Sorry IRS, I can't pay my taxes because somebody stole my money and here's my YouTube video to prove it. Plus you have to think, why would anyone bother stealing Xboxes and TVs when you have $1 million cash? Conveniently, this video was posted on the same day that Omi released his very first sneaker, the Omi Zeros, which was just a Nike Jordan 1 silhouette that replaced the swoosh with a lightning bolt. He even took the Air Jordan branding and replaced it with Air Omi. Now,
This guy is beyond stupid, bro. Like,
taking the Nike silhouette for a
you
shoe
know what
brand
happened to this guy recently? I read about it, right? He's being sued 8 million. It gets even worse for this guy. Nike is suing him 8 million. Look what he did. He just stole the silhouette. That's a Jordan 1 silhouette. He just stole the silhouette, right? And put his own branding on it.
brand isn't something new. It was a really hot trend for the past few years.
They
I even
sued
bought
the
myself
hell
a
out
pair.
of this
Omi would
dude,
slap the
bro.
word Reloaded on a popular team's logo, or really any iconic brand trade dress.
And they're
It's pretty
gonna
clear
win.
that Omi's specialty is copyright infringement. Building an original brand is way
Look at what he's doing. He just stole the Gears of War. Everything he does is scamming. This guy must be Chinese. You know, he must have some Chinese in him,
too much
bro.
work and too risky. However, things got really bad for Omi in September of 2021 when he was formally indicted with criminal copyright infringement, wire fraud, money laundering, and several other crimes.
Exactly, bro. It's not just what he did against the cable companies. Wire fraud, money laundering, and tax evasion.
The feds
Well,
came back once again and raided his house for the second time.
He's a
This
crook.
time
He's
he made much
100%
bigger
crook,
headlines
man.
and was even interviewed on
Just
the
look at how he flashes himself. It's just like a drug dealer. You can tell he's a criminal.
news.
Just to be crystal clear, the indictment that came down today, you're saying you're completely innocent of those.
Not completely innocent would be a false statement. Now, ignorance is no excuse for the law.
Again, you'd imagine someone would be quiet during this instance, or at the very least have their lawyer speak for them, but Omi was still convinced that he exploited the system. Omi's whole life at this point was dedicated to fighting this case. He barely uploaded YouTube videos, maybe once a month, and when he did, you could just tell this man's spirit was broken. But after months of deliberation from his legal counsel, Omi pleaded guilty in February of 2022.
I'm letting you guys know that I'm pleading guilty. Long talks with my attorney, and it's the best option, you know.
He had to plead guilty, man. He had to. He had no other option.
Ignorance is no excuse, like I've always said. And to me, it's about,
But yet you gave that excuse before yourself, dummy.
accepting responsibility.
Now, he was going to serve some time in prison. 3 US government attorneys say that Omar, aka Omi and a Hellcat, should serve 15 years and 8 months in prison for crimes related to his pirate IPTV service, Gears TV. So he spent all of his time grinding to get his business affairs in order so his family can survive while he is away. But on
Look at
March
this
7th,
dude, bro, never hit a gym in his
7th,
life.
2023, Omi finally met his fate. United States District Court for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania, Judge Harvey Bartle III, acknowledged that the advisory guidelines of 24 years would be highly unusual for a copyright matter, and therefore decided that 66 months would be enough to punish Omar and send a deterrent message to any of his followers considering the same type of behavior. On top of the 5.5 years in prison, Omar got 5 years of supervised release. He had to forfeit $30 million worth of assets, which was
Wow.
mostly vehicles and properties. And he had to pay more than $16 million in restitution, $10 million to
That's
the cable
crazy,
companies and
bro.
$5 million to the IRS. But surprisingly, Omi was happy with this outcome.
He could have gave me 15 years if he wanted to. He really could have. He really could have. He could have gave me 15 years, and I guess no one would have questioned him on it. And to the fact that he gave me another chance with my kids, like I said, man, I'm always gonna have that man in the back of my mind.
Throughout this entire time, Omi's supporters have had his back.
And just stop following these big channels, bro. Just stop. I mean, you know, if you watch my channel, that's what you need. You don't need these big channels. These big channels are just selling you a lie, man. They're crooks. Just because they're not sitting in a jail cell doesn't mean they're not crooks. They're all crooks. That's why they're out here doing podcasts as if they're the next Joe Rogan. See, I can see Joe Rogan, at least he comes from an entertainment background. He was a stand-up comedian, he was a you know, TV host, so you can kind of see why he'd go into podcasting. Podcasting is not natural for people, but it's what people do because they realize that they want to make it on YouTube because they can't run their scam anymore. They're not great entrepreneurs because if you were not a scam artist, if you were an actual entrepreneur, why are you trying to make it on YouTube? Why don't you just start another business? Exactly. Think about that. Why don't they do that? Because they're con men.
And a lot of them don't look at him as a scammer nor a fraudster, probably because most people don't have sympathy for billion-dollar corporations. Omi was
It's
stealing.
not just billion-dollar corporations. He was scamming civilians. You know, I told you about that. See, this is what people don't know because they don't really understand because they've never been in that space. I've been in that space before. He was scamming regular people as well. I don't care about copyright. Yeah, I don't care about that because I don't care about, I'm pro piracy, but when you start scamming a regular, and he shouldn't even been selling it in the first place.
From corporations and giving their product to regular people for a fair price. He came from nothing in the streets of Philadelphia and
Yeah, you're trying to defend this dude, bro. What about the money laundering? What about the tax evasion?
built an empire. However, that empire wouldn't have existed if it wasn't for the people who created the demand in the first place. Omi knows what he did was wrong, and he has accepted that he needs to do.
Yeah, there's demand. There's no doubt about it. There's demand. There's no doubt about it because the cable companies are ripping people off. I get that. But at the end of the day, right, it is illegal. Okay? He knew it was illegal and he didn't stop and he got greedy. So he deserves to be in jail.
Do the time to pay for what he did. Just a few weeks ago, he surrendered himself into prison. If we have any faith in the justice system, we just have to hope that Omi comes out a better and changed man.
Alright, so that's the video, guys. This is Real My Head Truth and Madness Faith. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe if you aren't already, and make sure to hit the notification bell so you're informed every time I upload a new video.